Every so often, we get an exciting call from our friends at Top 555 telling us to take our pick from their stock list to make a video with. And from that moment, we are like a kid in a sweet shop. This time, one car stood out to me immediately. Despite being such a Porsche fan, I had never driven a Speedster. And this gorgeous 991 generation was just crying out to be driven.
So 2 days ago, it was 30 degrees, blazing sun, and I'd been very burnt by now. We chose to drive a Speedster, so obviously it's now raining. It's very grey, still got my shorts on and it's actually not very warm, but we're here, we're making the most of it. We're in a Speedster. Now it's quite easy to be a bit cynical about Speedsters and say they're a bit style over substance, and maybe in the past that was the case. They were quite limited, but they were generally based on the Carrera. Right up to the 997, it was a very special looking car with those Fuchs wheels, special interior, even its own colour, but it was based on a Carrera really. This time, with the 991, they did it properly. This is the first time that Porsche's GT department ever made a car you could take the roof off. And they gave it the GT3 engine, GT3 gearbox, and it's manual only. Wheels, brakes. It's essentially a GT3 without a roof. And frankly, I can think of no better recipe than a manual GT3 without a roof. So it's got quite a lot to live up to. Should we see if it does? Now, first off, the roof is an interesting point because Spyder RS that we did recently, the roof was a big talking point there. It's a bit of a nightmare. This isn't the roof of a normal 911 Cabriolet. It is manual, but it's so much easier. You just flip this carbon fibre cover off, and also the bonnet and the wings are carbon fibre as well. Sort of lift that up. It's a very big piece, feels a little bit cumbersome, but after that, you just fold the roof up like you would in like an old MX-5 or something. It just literally folds up. Push this little button to clip it in, and that's it. It's pretty simple really. So it does start raining heavy. It's not the nightmare tent pitch that it is in a Spyder RS. Now, that's the boring practicality out of the way. So the roof is one you can actually use, but really, yeah. If you're in a Speedster, you want the roof off, you might as well have a GT3 if not, and save a lot of money. Now this car, it's so nice. The spec on it, guards red, it has the red lip around the wheels, absolutely loaded with spec, the extended leather all across the dash, even the fuse box cover is leather stitched with red, all the carbon trim, the 918 buckets, which you just have to have on these. I think they look a bit wrong without them. Less than 2,000 miles. I'll come on to that a little bit later, being a bit sad that people don't drive these cars. But most importantly, what is it like to drive? So we've got, as you can hear, even just tickling it along at 5,000 revs, the 4-litre flat 6 from the GT3. Revs all the way to 9,000. 510 horsepower, sounds mega, the response is bam, like instant. Feels really quite torquey, but as you build it just keeps going, and it sounds better and better. There is that 9,000. For the last 8 to 9, you get this like metallic rasp on top of that screen, and then blip the downshift. It has auto blip, which is just perfect as you'd expect, but do it yourself and it's so rewarding. This manual box I don't think you could improve on how it feels. It's just perfect. The pedals are positioned right, and the throttle's so responsive, it's so easy to heel and toe it. No PDK option. I'm sure some people would have wanted PDK, but it's the whole spirit of the Speedster. You want a manual. Oh, it's just amazing. And being manual, it kind of means you don't have to absolutely hammer it everywhere. Even just... it's just nice to row through the gears, blip it yourself, and then... genuinely does feel like a quick car because it doesn't weigh too much. Yeah, there are way quicker things now. It doesn't need to be. 500 horsepower is enough, I will say it again, especially when it sounds like that, especially when you're involved in that gear shift. Gears, as in Porsche fashion, are kind of long. They're not as long as a 981 GT4. Don't think you really need them any shorter, especially with the torque this has got. Now, interesting point on this, even a GT3 RS doesn't come standard with ceramics. The Speedster did. As you'd expect, they are absolutely stonking. It's not that warm today. They did feel like they needed a little bit of warming up, but once they're there, the pedal feel is so sharp. Maybe a little too sharp sometimes. It makes heel and toeing a little tricky unless you're well into the brake pedal. Boy, they give you so much confidence. Handling, again, pretty much GT3 underneath, but it does feel a bit more supple, which just suits the Speedster vibe rather than GT3. This is not meant to be a track car. Oh, it's a car you get out on a road like this and just enjoy it. It feels so direct, so light. This is when Porsche had nailed electric power steering. It has a lovely weight to it. Then you come out of a corner and you've got that. It just flows. I think that's the word for this. It just flows. It's not too firm. The turning's great, but the steering's not hyper artificially alert. It just feels natural. The whole thing feels natural. It just flows. I can't think of anything bad to say. I'm sorry. I know this just is a bit like babbling on about how good it is, but it is that good. Also has the rear wheel steering from the GT3 and dynamic engine mounts as well. So again, in the chassis department, this is not a Carrera that's been given a fancy body or even just had a big engine whacked in. It is the whole package and it just feels it. Anything bad? No. The only thing bad is the price. But if you can afford to pay it in the first place, probably not going to lose any money, is it? It's always going to be a 991 Speedster, limited run. But if you do buy it, please, please, please drive it. You know, there are rarer cars that we see at events quite a lot. 675 LTs. There are 1,000 of those if you combine the coupe and Spyders, and we see loads of them. Speedsters are nearly 2,000. You never see them. This is one of the great driver's cars that's had its roof taken off. Drive it. What about compared to a Spyder RS that we drove recently then? Same engine, it's very similar interior. It's not as full on as a Spyder RS. It sounds incredible. It's not quite as ear piercing. You can settle it down more. Obviously it's manual. Oh, both so good. The Spyder RS is half the price. There's just something special about this though. Spyder RS is more scintillating. This is probably an even better all-round package, and you've got that Rarity as well. Absolutely mega. 265 grand mega is the question. That one is subjective. Obviously these are a rare car, 1948 in the world, of which this is 1498, so almost sort of matching. So not super rare, but they are strictly limited, and you don't see many of them about at all. So obviously that is a huge factor of it costing well over 100 grand more than an equivalent GT3. Doesn't drive 100 grand better, obviously, but having that roof off, that slight edge of suppleness on the suspension makes this something unique, really special. If you want a GT3 without a roof, you have to have one regardless of the price. It is definitely expensive, but the market dictates that's what they're worth, and it's so good.
A big thank you to Top 555 for letting me tick the Speedster off my list. I had high expectations, but it most certainly delivered. If you're interested in this Speedster for yourself, it is still for sale at the time of recording. Just promise me that you'll increase that mileage.